Of the cities overlooking the Mediterranean, few have as long a history as the city of Joppa. Today, this Israeli city is known as Yaffo, and it's a fascinating blend of the modern with the ancient, situated on the coast adjacent to Tel Aviv. Built on an elevated ridge above the coastline, it's been inhabited for millennia and figures into the Bible records of both the Old and the New Testament. The story of this ancient place makes a powerful connection between faith and fact. The port city of Joppa played a role in some of the most significant stories of the Bible. It's mentioned in the assignment of tribal territories after the Israelites conquered Canaan. When Solomon initiated the construction of the temple in Jerusalem, Hiram, the king of Tyre, pledged to provide the timber for construction. The timber was harvested from the forests of Lebanon, north of Israel, and then shipped down the coast and brought to the port at Joppa. From there, the timber was brought to Jerusalem. About 2 centuries later, Joppa rises again to view, but this time as a point of departure. The Lord had directed the prophet Jonah to travel to Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire, in order to preach to the residents and to seek their salvation. Jonah didn't want to do this. The Assyrians were a hostile threat to other nations, and the prophet didn't want them saved. So he traveled to Joppa, boarded a ship headed to Tarshish, a far western city on the shores of Spain. Another 200 years later, following the destruction of Jerusalem in 586 BC, and the subsequent rebuilding decades later, we have something of a repeat story. When Cyrus, the emperor of Persia, allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem from Babylonian captivity, they set about rebuilding the temple. And once again, timber was shipped from the forests of Lebanon, brought down the coast, and ashore again at Joppa. This was the construction of what is known as the Second Temple, the very one that Herod the Great would expand and where Jesus would worship and teach. But Joppa also plays a role in a significant event found in the New Testament. Since the day of Pentecost and the birth of the church, all the converts had been from a Jewish heritage, but that was about to change as the first Gentiles, or non-Jews, were about to become Christians. In the book of Acts, we're told of a Roman centurion named Cornelius, who, along with some family members and close friends, was about to become disciples of Jesus. Peter, the apostle, had gone to Joppa at the request of some Jewish Christians to raise back to life a Christian woman named Dorcas, or Tabitha, who had recently passed away. After resurrecting her, Peter stayed in Joppa at the home of a tanner named Simon. An angel of the Lord spoke to Cornelius in a vision, directing him to send for the apostle Peter, who would teach Cornelius about Jesus and the Christian faith. At the time, Cornelius was in the city of Caesarea on the Mediterranean coast. Peter was farther south in Joppa. So Cornelius sent to Peter, who had been told in a vision to go see this centurion. So Peter made the trip north up the coastline to Caesarea. When Peter preached to Cornelius and the other Gentiles, they obeyed the gospel and were converted to Christianity. What a fascinating collection of Bible events associated with this ancient city. Steeped in antiquity, not only is it an engaging site for today's tourists, its location and its history serve a powerful connection between faith and fact here in the land of the Bible.